And let's talk about Allied. Call them today for crawl space and all that other. They're about to explain it to us right now, plus bug busters. But first, let's give a shout out to Angela Hood over in Moultaway. Says your nickname is Slick.
Good morning,
I got that name when I was 6 years old. I did.
Just kind of stuck there.
And it just kind of stuck with you.
It did. It's a real boring story, so.
Not like anything I heard the other day.
No, it's nothing close to that. You'd probably fall asleep hearing about that.
Oh, okay. Well, the other one kept me wide awake, I can tell you that.
I bet it did.
All right. Marty, how long have y'all had bug busters?
Bug stompers.
Bug stompers.
Bug stompers, not bug busters.
Stompers.
You might want to change it to bug stompers, too. Bug buckers.
Well,
Bug stompers.
we're just starting the business. We'll pay back about 2 months, but I've been in the pest control business for 16 years.
So y'all are really just starting bug stompers?
Yes.
All right, we're going to be shooting a commercial for you guys soon with that.
Correct.
Alan, tell us a little bit about Allied Service. What all do you guys do?
We do foundation repair, waterproofing, mold. We do encapsulations for humidity control in crawl spaces. With the encapsulations now, it's becoming a bigger thing.
I don't even know what that word means.
That's where we seal the crawl spaces up.
Okay.
Because several years ago in a drought, we got a lot of calls where people were calling saying, hey, I got water in my crawl space. Well, what it's coming from is your vents are letting hot water in, or hot air in, hitting your cold ducts, and so they're condensating. And mold starts growing at 60% humidity. Well, from May till October, we're not seeing 60% humidity here. So it doesn't make sense to let 90% humidity into your crawl space.
Really?
And 40% of the air you breathe in your house comes from underneath your house.
Now, you saying you're blocking the access to under the house?
We're sealing the vents. You can still get in, but we seal the door. So we seal everything up. And believe it or not, with the HVAC, no matter how good your air conditioning guy is, you're going to have some leaks in your air conditioning system. So instead of conditioning the neighborhood, condition your crawl space. It saves on the energy, but the big thing is controlling the humidity and keeping mold from growing. If I go under 100 houses, I'm going to find mold in 99 of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, how serious type mold, though?
It's not black mold like you see on the inside. It's rare to see black mold in a crawl space.
Oh, okay.
But the mold in a crawl space is not to scare anybody, but it really just depends on if you're allergic to it. A lot of people, once they see the commercial, they'll say, well, I've been having breathing problems. You know, I seem like I got allergies all the time, can't get rid of it. And a lot of it is because they're crawl space, that air underneath. And I go under, take pictures of the crawl space. I check the moisture in the wood. I check the humidity in the crawl space. And I also check to see if people have plumbing leaks. You'd be amazed that people call me about a smell in their house or different things. And I'll go under there and I may find a pipe that's been leaking for years.
And that goes back to our house. And one of the major problems we've had, and you never, is our ice maker. Just a little bitty pinhole in the thing under the house. Water dripping.
Till
I didn't fix it. Probably still doing that.
No, they
y'all are in the home show this weekend. Where can people find you at the Civic Center?
We are, the Bug Stompers booth is on the outside right before you go in. So everybody that comes to the home show has to go.
Prime location.
Yes, that's a good one. We're in, I think, booth 707 with the crawl space. We're in 2 separate locations.
If somebody calls you and wants, I know you run ads on the Huntsville station too. If somebody calls you today to get out there, I know you guys stay busy. How long is it before you can get out there and take a look at that?
It's usually the same week. We can get out there. Sometimes the same day, just depending on where I'm at. I was in Athens the other day, and somebody called me and wanted to know when I could come, and they were in Elkmont, so I was able to run on over there. It just depends. We usually run about 3 appointments a day in the foundation side.
How long does it, on average, how long does it take to fix a problem with someone's house?
The average job takes about 2 days, you know, depending on what it is. If you have cracked brick, we're fixing to exterior the foundation. Depending on the extent of it, I mean, it could take a week. But people never have to move out of their house. They're never gone. A lot of stuff takes 1 day, and it's really not as expensive as most people think.
Well, let me ask you a question. You're talking about cracked bricks. That's something y'all repair too.
Yes.
All right, it's just like walking up at our house on our brick porch. There are holes in it. You noticed it the other day. Is that something that needs to be fixed where the mortar has pulled apart from it?
Typically, the biggest thing I hear from people is, I got natural settlement. Okay, there's no such thing as natural settlement. Nobody ever made brick to crack. Nobody ever made concrete to crack. So if it moves, there's a problem. It's not made to move. You didn't build your house to move.
So if one door doesn't shut, that is definitely moved, there's a problem.
And most of the time, you'll see the issues with cracked sheetrock. You'll see those types of things in your trim pulling away as soon as you get a cold spell, because it starts drying everything out. Now, the misconception I get from people all the time is the water makes your foundation sink. That's not actually true. The type of soils we have in North Alabama, when they get dry, they shrink. When they get wet, they expand. And so the longer you let that problem go of it moving up and down, it changes everything.
So this is a problem that everybody's got, they may just not be aware of.
That's correct.
Yeah, probably not.
And the way you get, just throw that full page back up, tell how to get in touch with Al. I do want to talk about
To me, though, the most important part is if you're having any breathing problems, like he said, there could be a very
Y'all
simple
need to call
solution.
Alan and Marty today at 221-4608. Let's talk about the bug stompers again. Now, you used to be in the business.
Yes.
Years ago.
And I had a business, I sold my pest control business back in 2005. And was doing more of the foundation stuff. When Marty and I here recently decided to do the bug stompers, and they laughed at me about the name to begin with,
I think
but
it's
it's it's memorable.
catchy.
So
There's what your booth looks like.
I've been in the pest control since 2000. Marty's been working for Cooks for 16 years, and so we
Knows a lot of people.
So I would assume, though, and bug stompers, Marty, when you're up under somebody's house, you're going to be able to tell if they've got
If you notice other things.
problems.
Yes, other problems, yes.
What's the biggest myth? I know we had on prem we had ants. I mean, they come in, they must be, how they get in your house?
Well, they can
Army of ants.
come, tree limbs be touching the top of your house, tree limbs be coming out of the tree, the tree on the roof, under the floor joists. I mean, the best way to take care of ants is take care of them on the outside before they get inside.
Every day we'd go up next morning, they'd be everywhere in the kitchen. You know? What else do we need to know about either bug stompers or allied services now that y'all are part of our gig here?
We're offering a special now with the bug stompers. No matter the size of the house, we're doing it for $28 a month. With the bait system, we give a full damage replacement guarantee on your home. And that's, a lot of people don't know. They'll say, yeah, I got a termite bond. No such thing as a termite bond anymore. There used to be, in the state done away with it.
Everybody used to have to have it.
That's right. Now, if you have a termite agreement, you need to see if it's a damage replacement or a retreatment guarantee. Damage replacement means if you get damage, they replace it. But I run across a lot of people that think that they have a damage replacement guarantee when all they have is a retreatment. It says if you get termites, you'll treat it for
So
free.
they can call you even though they're with somebody else now, and y'all can take a look at what they've got and then say, here's what we recommend. And
Well, the state of Alabama doesn't want you to look at someone's house if they're under contract with somebody else. You're not supposed to solicit someone that is under contract with somebody else. Now,
That's
if
stupid.
they call you and say, hey, come look at my house, then you got to go look at their house.
so y'all call them, don't let them have to call you. Who you going to call?
Who are you going to call? That's our
That's
thing.
right. Who you going to call? Well, you can call them, get in touch with them. Is there a different number for bug stompers?
Yes, the number for bug stompers is 256-580-3210.
We'll have all that
Contact
going
me
by
if you
next
need
week,
that
too.
number.
All right. Look forward to seeing you guys out at the show this weekend. Thanks for coming up.
Tomorrow.
Tell your wife we said hello and you weren't
Say
whispering today.
I will tell her. Yep, but I mean, I knew not to say anything I didn't need to.
Thanks for coming up. Look, thank y'all for doing business with us. Look forward to seeing y'all this weekend, too.
Good
All right, let me
advice.
take a break. We'll come back and talk with Shane and Matthew in just a second. Y'all hang on.